Imagine cleaning out your attic, digging through all your old crap, and finding a hidden gold mine of $100,000. Most of us could only dream of such an unexpected windfall, but one lady had this wish come true by selling her husband's old, dusty Magic the Gathering card collection that she thought was pretty much worthless.
If you had to guess, what do you think the value on 9 cards is?
Couple $100.
Couple $100.
Oh boy. Buckle up, lady. You're in for a treat.
You're looking at auction between $65,000 and $100,000 in trading cards here.
Oh my gosh.
That's right, 100,000 big ones. But how is it even possible that a stack of cardboard can be worth so much money?
They just look like cards to me.
Magic was released clear back in August 1993. That's right, it's older than The Lion King and the incredibly entertaining True Lies. It's the OG trading card game that paved the way for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Down the road. After a successful launch and selling out, a second print run called Limited Edition Beta, nicknamed Beta, was released a few months later. That's where our lucky lady comes in.
My husband played Magic in the 90s, but then I think he wanted to have a complete set.
She has a complete set of some of the most rare and sought-after Magic cards on the planet. Here we can see the coveted Power 9, and overall, they're in fantastic condition. And while the beta print run is about 3 times larger than the alpha print run, it's still so tiny compared to how big the game has become, with millions of players around the world collecting cards for decades. Back in 1993, Magic cards weren't valuable, so they were getting thrown into boxes, carried around without protective sleeves, and played with in the grass at parks after school. Over the years, many of these cards have been lost, destroyed, or damaged to the point where they're worth nothing. But this set is in amazing condition.
The slightest nick, the slightest crease all affects the value. Looking at both sides of the cards, judging the wear, I would say they all probably range around an 8 out of 10 condition. You might have a 7.5 in there, but they've all been well taken care of.
Beta cards are an iconic piece of Magic's history, and the demand for them is insanely high by serious and casual collectors alike. These are some of the most rare cards ever printed in Magic the Gathering, and what makes them so valuable is their extreme rarity and high demand. The fewer copies in good condition, the higher the price. Different cards are printed at different rarities. Common cards are the easiest to find, as about 48,000 copies of each card were printed. Some of them are so underpowered that they see literally zero play, yet are still worth a few dollars. But those commons go up in price fast, and there are a few that are worth $100 to $300. Uncommons were printed at about 1/4 the frequency of commons, so there are plenty that are worth over $100, and several that are worth $300, $400, even $800 for a Soul Ring. This lady has a complete set, so she has all 75 commons, 95 uncommons, and the 15 basic lands. You do the math and you realize this is somewhere around $10,000. This is much better than the few $100s she thought they were worth, but we're nowhere close to $100 grand. So how on earth do you get this price all the way up to $100K? It's all about the rares, baby. It's estimated that only 3,000 copies of each rare in beta were ever printed, but not nearly that many still exist in the world today because, like we said, nobody cared about preserving Magic cards back in the day. Regardless of the power level or playability, almost all the rare cards are priced in the hundreds of dollars simply due to the low supply. Some cards are more iconic and still see play today and are going to set you back well over $1,000 for a copy in decent condition. Then you have the Power 9, the holy grail of Magic cards. The Power 9 are some of the most powerful cards ever made. So powerful that they aren't allowed to be played anymore because they break the rules of the game. You have the 3 blue spells that are incredibly unbalanced on their own, plus blue was the most powerful color for many years, the 5 Moxen, which, in addition to being absolutely gorgeous, give you extra mana and essentially let you play the game at twice the speed of your opponent. And of course, the Black Lotus, the most iconic Magic card ever printed.
For the Power 9 right here, as they sit without professional grading at auction, you'd be looking at $50,000 to $75,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right? So,
Imagine, this lady starts her day by throwing a binder of useless cardboard into a backpack, going to the Antique Roadshow and thinking, maybe I can trade these for a nice lamp. Now she's being told she can pay off her mortgage and take a trip to Bora Bora. But this chick wasn't born yesterday. After a few moments of excitement, she starts to become very skeptical, thinking that this guy's just messing with her for the lulz.
the Black Lotus, which is like the creme de la creme, that's the card everybody wants, is $15,000 to $20,000 in its current condition.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
That card alone, at auction in its current shape, would be between $5,000 and $10,000.
Huh.
But as he continues explaining these cards to her, you can see that her mindset is starting to change.
Mox Emerald, which is one of the 5 jewel cards that you can see here, is the rarest of them all. In its current shape, you'd be looking at about $8,000 to $12,000. Now that's just this page of 9 cards.
Now something great yet terrible is starting to happen. On the one hand, she's starting to realize that this guy is serious and she's about to get some cold hard cash. But on the other hand, she's realizing she's going to have to face the wrath of 100,000 I told you so's from her husband. I'm never going to hear the end of this. How many times did I say this was an investment? You always said I was just a nerd who wasn't smart enough to buy base set Pokemon cards. Remember when we were moving and you wanted to throw away this, and I quote, worthless stack of cardboard? Hey honey, you want to go to Paris this summer? Oh, don't worry, we can pay for it with the money from just my volcanic island.
Subscribe.
Look, nobody likes admitting that they were wrong for decades. But this lady's no dummy. She knows that eating humble pie for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the next 6 months is absolutely worth 100 grand.
So cumulatively, you're looking at auction between $65,000 and $100,000 in trading cards here.
Oh my gosh.
So see, aren't you happy you didn't lose them in your backpack?
I am happy.
Magic the Gathering is more than just a game for many people. It's also an investment. And just like any investment, you need to know the market and the asset class. Your cards can appreciate in value, but only if handled the right way. Make sure you keep your cards in pristine condition by watching this video to learn how to store them correctly.